Hey guys, Ashley here, also known as Asian saying that there's a video, and today I am deciding to finish up my season review for Black American Teenager Season 3. I have decided I'm going to just start over. If you want to watch part 1, you are free to do that on this channel, but me personally I'm going to start over by talking about all the characters and all the storylines. And one of the things I want to say before I get into it is that I really do appreciate everyone for supporting my channel. Even though I'm not posting as much because it's been just extremely busy, I want to say I appreciate everybody. From the bottom of my heart, I really do. I don't make YouTube videos just to get subscribers. I do this because I am a very creative person. So that's why I'm on YouTube. Things like that. It's just life is just extremely busy right now. I just have a lot of stuff going on. So it's just kind of hard to just get up and just make a video every single day when you have other stuff going on. But what I want to say is that I know I said yesterday that I was going to be finishing up some rants before I move in. I have decided that I think the best thing is just to do this video and then save everything else for when I am moved in and settled in. So the H-Lee video will wait. I am still going to do that. Because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to my girl H-Lee. So yeah, that will be a video, and I do have like 10,000 other rants to talk about on this channel, so just be aware that those things are still happening. But season 3 of the Black American Teenager, me personally, this is the best season of the show. I feel like the first 3 seasons of the show is easily the best. I think seasons 4 and 5 are very weak. I already made a video about that on my channel. Feel free to listen to it. Season 3 is the best season. Season 3 had everything. Like, Season 3 had a lot of drama in it. So, that should break down the characters. Let's look at these characters right now. Jack and Grace. I always like to get them. I always like to do Jack and Grace first because I feel like as the season went on, they became increasingly non-existent. Jack has never fit in with these characters. He's never fit in with this show. I feel like Jack is probably the most boring character in this show. He never has anything interesting going on, and that is just that. His entire storyline in this season is him trying to find someone to move in with so he can finish his year because his parents have decided to move. Makes absolutely no fucking goddamn sense. And in situations like that, wouldn't just, like, where the fuck is CPS at? Wouldn't have just made sense to have Jack. He ain't got no family in the neighborhood. No family. They couldn't have decided, I don't know, like, try to get a relative to move down there, and they could just buy out the house, and then they could just put the house on sale once his senior year is done. That would have made more sense. You're going to tell your son you guys are going to move in the middle of the semester, the middle of his senior year. What sense does that make? And he told them that. And they said that he can stay as long as he can find someone, if he can find somebody who he can move in with, someone he can move in with. He tried to ask Ricky. Ricky told him no. He said, I'm with Amy and I have a son. I can't move no one else into my apartment. He asked Ben. Ben told him no. He said they don't have extra houses and things like that in his name, and he said he don't know if his dad would be comfortable enough with Jack moving into the house. Which is funny to me because Leo could move his whole ass son into a condo, but he couldn't let Jack stay there. Very questionable. So then he asked Grace's mom behind Grace's back if he could move into the guest house. She told him yes, even though Tom was staying there. Tom decided to move into the guest house because he felt like he needed his own privacy away from the main house. So him and Tom had decided to just stay in this guest house together. And basically the whole storyline was just a way to rebuild up him and Grace, which I never cared about. I didn't care about that. He's with Madison, but basically his whole storyline is just him trying to figure out who he can live with to finish off his senior year. Just a very boring storyline. It goes on for forever. And it's just like, and then once he moves in, it's just trying to find ways to build him and Grace back up, and I never cared for him and Grace as a couple. Grace. I can't even remember a single storyline Grace had in this season. What did she do? I think she was with some guy named Grant, that he was with Ashley and then he got with Grace and then they broke up out of nowhere. I don't even remember how they broke up. So basically Grace, by this point, her entire character was just dating. Dating or her back and forth relationship with Jack, which I never cared about. So there it is. On to, I'm not done. Let's talk about Ashley, because Ashley was a character that got a lot of screen time in this season. Ashley really pissed me off in this season. I hate Ashley. Like, this season made me hate her more than I hated her before. Like, I'm so tired of people trying to say that she was mature. She was mature for her age. She just seemed to be more wise than everyone. No, she wasn't. Ashley was mature. She didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? No. This bitch uses Adrian to keep popping fucking fireworks and I keep hearing it. It's annoying. But anyway, I'm gonna run down some of Ashley's storylines in the season. So some of Ashley's storylines in the season were her first storyline was her getting birth control pills. She told George, her dad, that Adrian had sex with him and Adrian thinks she might be pregnant. Very weird. I do not understand why in the living hell do the parents talk to their kids like they're gossiping. It's so weird. It's so annoying. I hate it. Especially with Ashley. Like, I understand that her and George are close, but why did you have to use Adrian as a way to tell him that's why you need to go on birth control pills? Like, why? Why did you have to use Adrian? You didn't need to do that. You could just tell him that you feel like you want to go on birth control pills because you're dating in high school and it just makes sense to go on them. Like, why did you have to use Adrian as a way to get on birth control pills? That was just so annoying in itself. Like, I hated it. So, she told George about that. He said he wasn't going to tell Ruben anything. I think just before I get into the four characters that this season was about, I'm going to talk about the two parents in this season that really pissed me off. So after I get talked about Ashley, I'm going to talk about George and Ruben. So that was Ashley's storyline. That was her first storyline. Her getting birth control pills. George let her get on them, but then he got mad at Amy because he said he found out about a doctor that Amy also got birth control pills. I couldn't believe the double standard that he had between Ashley and Amy when it came to birth control pills. He said, "Did you not learn the first time? Are you serious? Are you serious? You were gonna sit here in front of my face and ask me that question? You're an asshole and you're a piece of shit." That's what Amy should have said. She asked, and then Anne asked Ashley and Amy, what do they need to go birth control pills for if they're not having sex? Does that really matter? Does that matter? I was like, what about you putting those chemicals in your system for no reason? No. You know they date, so it's like, what if they date someone and it gets serious? You don't know. You don't know. You can't control your kids from not having sex, but what you can tell them is the endangerment of having unprotected sex. So, I don't even understand why they're mad at Amy. Amy's actually being way more responsible than she was the first time. She actually got birth control. She buys condoms. Like, she's fully prepared for it. I couldn't believe that he sat there and told her that so you didn't learn for the last time. The fact that he sat there and asked her who she having sex with, it's like, you know, she hasn't been with anyone except for Ben. Like, she hasn't dated anybody since she dated Ben. So, like, how the fuck can you even sit here and ask me that type of question? Like, what the fuck? And then she was like, you will never let me forget. I don't like how she called John a mistake in the dialogue. I didn't like that. She talked about you and Ashley and Mom, I'll never let me forget the mistake that I made the night at band camp. And she said that she just can't believe they can't stop talking about it or throw it in her face whenever she tries to be more responsible. I don't like how she tried to call John a mistake. Like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe she could have worded that better. Maybe she could have said, y'all never let me forget about my unprotected sex. The unprotected night that she had would have been a lot more settled than her saying a mistake. So I didn't like that. I didn't like how Ashley tried to use Amy and Adrian as a way to get on birth control. As a way to get on birth control pills because she just wanted to be on them. She is the one who really had reason to be on them. She's not dating. The only reason why she decided to get on them is because of Adrian got pregnant. She didn't want to end up like Adrian or Amy or Grace, because all three of them have had, sex has led down bad decisions. Amy ended up getting pregnant from having unprotected sex. Adrian ends up getting pregnant. Grace loses her virginity to Jack, only for him to wind up cheating. So yes, I definitely I understand why Ashley got on them, but she doesn't have a reason to be on them. She's only on them because she doesn't want to make a mishazzard, which I completely understand. But it's just crazy to me that George let her be on them, but not Amy. Amy is the one who had a baby at 15 from an unprotected pregnancy. But she can't get on them, but Ashley can. Very questionable. Ashley's second storyline in the season was her knowing about Adrian being pregnant and her not telling anybody. She knew that Adrian was pregnant. Adrian confided in her about the pregnancy, telling her that she don't know what to do. She keeps thinking about whether or not she should consider an abortion or get a baby up for adoption. Ashley said that she'll support whatever she wants, and she said it has she told Ben. Adrian told her no, and she said she should keep it that way. She said if she's going to have an abortion, there is no reason to get Ben involved for him to change her mind. She said at the end of the day, it is her decision. Yeah, it's her decision, but she knows who the baby daddy is, and it wasn't like even though her and Ben did have one night stand, she still knows who Ben is. It wasn't like it was just a random guy. She knows the father of her kid is Ben. So Ben should have a decision in the abortion, period, point blank. I'm sorry people thinking like men shouldn't have a say when it comes to this shit. Yes, they do. If you know who you got pregnant by, then they should be allowed to have an opinion and to express their opinion on the option. The fuck you talking about? She gets mad at Ricky because Ricky also knows that Adrian is pregnant, and he doesn't feel like it's right that Ben hasn't told Amy that Adrian told him that she thought she was pregnant. Ashley tells him to mind his business. I'm thinking like, yo, what the fuck, mind his business? What the fuck you doing? You and everyone else's business. Don't ever tell my man Ricky to ever mind his business because you don't do that your damn self. You're an op. The fuck? You're a whole ass op. You gonna tell him to mind his own motherfucking business? Ashley, boogie on down. So that was pretty much her storyline. Her second storyline was knowing that Adrian was pregnant and her keeping it a secret from Amy. Her third storyline in this season, the storyline that I have talked about on my channel before, y'all know I talked about it. This storyline will forever annoy me to no end. The storyline between Ashley and Ricky is just so disgusting, and it's just so inappropriate and just so unneeded. But the storyline had so much drama in it, and I loved it. So basically, Ashley starts developing feelings for Ricky. She thinks Ricky likes her too. I talked about it before in my video. I'm not gonna just go over all of it. If you want to hear what the video is about, watch it for yourself. I'm gonna give y'all a rundown. I think Ashley was very delusional, thinking that Ricky was going to give her a shot, knowing that Amy was the mother of John. Even if things were different, I still don't think Ricky and Ashley would have even been a thing. Even if things were different, even if Amy would have been someone who hooked up with and never had John. If him and Ashley did become a thing, it still would have been weird. The fact that Ashley had no remorse about having feelings for Ricky or kissing him, hell, even wanting to have sex with him, the fact that she felt no remorse about wanting to do those things, knowing that him and Amy had feelings for each other and knowing that they were thinking about being together, she didn't even care if it would hurt Amy or not. Like, she didn't have any remorse towards it. She's trying to convince Ricky in her own mind that they're meant to be together and that they do have an attraction to each other and that they should be together. And then she tries to accuse him of being like, oh, because you can't have Adrian, now you want Amy. Girl, it doesn't matter who I want. Why do you care about who I want? I don't want you. You're just mad because I don't want you. Like, girl, Ashley was a whole ass victim for Ricky in a show. She told Amy in a fucking voice message that she kissed Ricky just to make Amy mad because Ricky didn't want to be with her. Ashley was in the wrong for the entire storyline because she initiated everything. She initiated the kids, and then she tried to make Ricky feel bad for not feeling the same way that she felt. Like, to the point where Ricky could tell her that he's going out, and she's like, you gotta lie to me and tell me that you were out at work and you was actually screwing somebody. You gotta lie to me. We ain't together. He talked about, okay, and if I was screwing, and if I did have sex with someone, it still ain't your motherfucking business. And then the conversation that her and Ricky had outside in the hallway when George and Ann were listening, they talk about Ashley's in love with the wrong guy. We're still in season 3 and people are still looking at Ricky like the big bad wolf. Are you serious? Ricky did not force himself onto Amy. Him and Amy both had sex. It was consensual sex. Stop looking at him like the big bad villain because he got Amy pregnant at 15. Amy and Ricky both had a kid young. Period. The reason why her life changed more than his is because she was pregnant and she had to go to school being pregnant and she had to go through all that stuff young. That's why. And that's why I made that video about Ricky barely being involved in her pregnancy, because in season 1, I think there was not enough focus on how Ricky was feeling mentally about being a parent at 16. All of the focus was on Amy. So when he went off in season 2 of telling Adrian that poor Amy nothing, like, I agree. I'm a teenage parent too. I'm going to work and going to school and still trying to maintain to be a parent. And all you care about is how you feel? Man, fuck all of y'all. I really don't like how people look at Ricky. Listen, I can understand that he got his fuckboy ways. Ain't no denying that. He definitely got his fuckboy ways. Ain't no denying there. But I can respect the fact that Ricky is letting these girls know that he's not looking for nothing serious. If you know that and you still sleep with him, that's on you. That's on you. You can't blame him for that. And Ricky, even himself, he said he knows that was wrong. He said he knows that using those girls just for his own pleasurement wasn't right. Even though they consented to it, but at the end of the day, it was for his own pleasure. He knows it wasn't right. So here we are, still season 3, and George still want to look at him like a big bad wolf. Get the fuck out of here. Man, he even moved into the house to raise John there to make him more comfortable being there, because a majority of his stuff is there. After he told Amy that he would rather have John be at his apartment and he could have his mom or dad watch John while he's at work. That way he could just come upstairs to his apartment, since he worked downstairs, he could just go upstairs and raise his son. He told Amy that. But no, he decided to stay there and help raise his kid. And yet they're still looking at him like he's a bad guy. No. You see, George likes to play double standards when it comes to Ashley. Ashley is never wrong about anything. He don't think she's wrong about nothing. He don't hold her accountable for shit. That shit is hella annoying in this show. He don't hold her accountable for nothing. Nothing. Even when he confronted her about her feelings for Ricky, he said that don't let Ricky trick you into doing anything. Trick her? What the fuck are you talking about? He talking about, I see the way y'all look at each other. He's saying he don't like it. He said that she's way too smart to get involved with a guy like him. So what you're saying, that girls are stupid for getting involved with a guy like him? Amy was stupid. Adrian definitely was stupid. Grace, all these girls, not all these girls were stupid. And actually, him and Amy, it wasn't even a relationship. It was just a one-night stand. Him and Amy were vibing and they had sex. Like, what the hell? What the hell are you trying to say about your daughter? That she's just some easy little girl? That she was easy that night? No, you don't even know what the fuck went down. It wasn't like they talked and then they just hooked up. Her and Ricky actually got a chance to get to know each other that night. They were vibing, trying to get to know each other emotionally, and they had sex. Man, George about to just go on a scoop. And then after the whole Ricky situation, I think Ashley was definitely wrong. I think she was delusional for thinking that Ricky was just going to drop what he was doing with Amy just to be with her. She literally could not take it that Ricky did not want to be with her. And whenever he told her the reasons why, it's like she didn't listen. This bitch even went to the extreme of trying to lose her virginity to him. And she was just so delusional. Ashley was just really delusional. She just couldn't take it. Only to find out that the reason why she was doing these things was because she felt insecure and insignificant towards Amy. She feels like Amy gets all the attention, just trying to take her insecurities out on her sister for absolutely no reason. Her entire character was just being jealous of Amy and being obsessed with her relationship. To the fact that she gets mad that Amy and Ricky want to move in with each other. Talk about, because she's being an independent woman, do you have to always have a guy? She talk about, yes, I haven't dated anyone besides, bro, who has Amy really been with besides Ben in the first 2 seasons? You really get on her ass because she want to be with the father of her child? They're actually getting to know each other on a higher level, and y'all complain about that? Get the fuck out of here. The only way y'all complaining and trying to keep her from moving on Ricky is because y'all don't like him. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, bye. She said all you ever want to do was just move in with Dad, so now you can live with him. Period. I don't care about any of the other shit you're talking about. Get out of my room and get out of my face. And then when she tried to tell Amy in the episode where Amy and Adrian got into it, she telling her, didn't you know that Ricky slept with all those girls? She talking about, why you being so stupid? Why you being so naive about it? Listen, I will say this. I'm going to get to that storyline too in a minute. I will say about this when it comes to Amy. I do feel like Amy letting seeing those girls get underneath her skin like that, I feel like if she had more faith in her relationship, she wouldn't let what Adrian did get underneath her skin as much. But I can understand why. Because what Adrian did was malicious. It's one thing to know that Ricky slept with a lot of girls, but it's one thing to actually vividly see it. And I would be lying if I saw that I wouldn't be pissed. I would. Adrian did that on purpose. She did that because she wanted to show Amy that Ricky probably would never change. And like I said, everyone was just mad that Ricky was trying to work on himself with Amy. That out of all the girls, like Ashley, Grace, Adrian, all three of them just wanted to change him. They saw Ricky as a test project. I could change him, I could make him better, but nobody ever wanted to put the work in on trying to, like, not fix him, show him something. Amy actually tried to show him what a relationship looks like, what being monogamous looks like. She let him know right off the bat that all that other shit you was doing, you're not about to do that shit with me. And if you want to be with me, you're going to have to work, you're going to have to show me what you can bring to the table outside of your dick. Like, Amy was actually letting him know where she stands. None of them were doing that. They were just telling him one thing and just like, especially when y'all getting together wrong. Ashley, you trying to get together with him when he in love with your sister? Really, Ashley? Adrian, do I really have to say with him and Adrian? She lost him how she got him. Period. In my opinion, she lost Ricky how she got him. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. And then try to tell Amy that I've always resented you not accepting the, well, what did she say? She said she resented Amy for being mad at her about the kiss because she took it like as if Ricky couldn't be attracted to her. So she resented Amy for that. So you hate me because I don't understand why you kissed the guy that I am in love with. Huh? Make that make sense. And like she told Ashley, you're naive for thinking that kiss wasn't anything more of a betrayal. That kiss was complete and total betrayal, and you know it. Ashley, soup and a boo. The best thing her character did in the season was when she dropped out of school and decided to move away. That was the best thing her character did, and that's why I said to you before that Ashley has left the season. Hip, hip, hooray. She's gone, she's not coming back, and I thank fucking God. Ashley is gone. Now, the two parents that I want to talk about is, I'm going to talk about George and Ruben. I know I kind of talked about George just now, but the reason why I didn't like George in this season is because, A, he don't hold Ashley accountable for anything. All the times that Ashley did Amy wrong and did Amy dirty, he always expected Amy to apologize. I didn't like when it came to the whole Ashley and Ricky situation. He assumed that Ricky was a bad guy and Ricky was trying to come onto his daughter, which wasn't true. Ashley was the one who initiated a lot of things that was going on between her and Ricky, and he tried to make him like the bad guy. When it came to Amy trying to move in with Ricky, he blatantly try to be manipulative and try to use ways to keep Amy from moving in with Ricky. And I get it. Her and Ricky were definitely moving. Oh my God, why can't I talk? Amy and Ricky were definitely moving a little bit too fast in season 3 when I go back and watch. I love Amy and Ricky. I am Team Raimi until the end of time. But I do feel like they were definitely moving too fast. I think the reason why Ricky actually moved in was because he just wanted to show Amy that he's very serious about this relationship. I think Amy just wanted him to show her that he's very serious. And I think there were other ways he could have showed her that outside of asking her to move in. Like taking her on a nice romantic date or things like that. I can understand why they decided to not do it because it was just moving way too fast, and I totally understand it. But the fact that he tried to keep her from moving in by saying things like, you guys aren't married. You and Ann just weren't married. So what's your next reason? That's being a hypocrite. Hypocrite number 1. You talk about you want to get hurt by this guy and then come running back over here. He said he don't want to see her get hurt. George, like she said, I've been hurt. I got over it. I've been hurt the whole time. When she got pregnant at 15, Amy was definitely hurt, and I think it showed a lot. Like she said, I think her going on that trip in New York made her a lot more mature and a lot more open-minded to life. So, him just trying to use ways like, oh, you guys aren't married. Oh, you're not ready for this. You're too young for this. Like she said, I was too young to have a baby, and I did that too. So, what's your next reason? Listen, I understand that you don't want her to move in right now as a high schooler. I get. But you trying to blatantly use things like they're not married, which is like ridiculous. I didn't realize you have to be married to move in with someone. Like, what is this, the 1930s? And then when he told her that the only reason Ricky actually moved in was because he didn't want her to be mad about him not wanting to be married, and she said that she had feelings, and he told her that she's hurt. I understand that. Ricky told her that he doesn't want to be married right now. He told her that. But for you to try to twist his words as a way to hurt Amy, that I don't fuck with. No. Amy knew that Ricky didn't want to get married right now. She knows that Ricky has no intention on getting married in high school. And I don't understand why every time he said that, he kept looking like the bad guy. Why? We're all too young to get married. 17 years, especially when you're getting married for the wrong reasons. Hell yeah, I'm not getting married for anyone's agenda. I'm not getting married for none of that. I'm not getting married for no one because they had a baby or because someone expects it because of our situation. I'm not doing that, and it's not happening. So I respect the fact that Ricky's like, I'm not going to marry you just because you had John, or I'm not going to marry you just because Ben and Adrian are getting married. I'm not doing that. So no, I'm not doing that. I love the fact that you want to get married, but right now I'm not doing that just because they're getting married. It's not happening, bro. So George is nothing more but an asshole, but I did respect the fact that he did stick up for Amy when Ben was talking his hot girl shit, which we will get into when I talk about Ben. So yeah, that was just my issue with George in this season. Ruben, let's talk about Ruben. Oh my gosh, with Ruben, I don't really have much to talk about when it comes to Ruben, outside of when it came to Adrian's pregnancy. So, and we all know that Adrian was pregnant. It's crazy how fast everyone found out in the beginning of season 3. Like, it was really funny. I was like, damn, the gossip and the information, people not minding their own business, it flies in this show. Flies. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Okay. Ruben found out that Adrian was pregnant. He called her mother, Cindy, and told her that Adrian was pregnant. Cindy came the next day and talked to Adrian about being pregnant as a teenager and all the things that she'll miss out on when she becomes a mom at 17. And Cindy basically told her that if she could go back, she would have had to spend a lot more time with Adrian. And like I said, a lot of that really explains why Adrian has a lot of emotional codependency issues, because when she was young, her mom wasn't there a lot of the time because she had to make money. So Adrian was raised by relatives. She wasn't really raised much by her mom, and she kind of raised herself. I get it, but I feel like she used that too much as an excuse to get away with her terrible decisions and actions, and to me, I'm just not falling for it. I've had enough of it. It's been 3 seasons. Learn how to take accountability for your mistakes by this point. Adrian, you're 17, you're not 10. Take accountability, girl. And she told Adrian that she is going to respect whatever decision that she chooses to make. But if she chooses to be a mother, she needs to understand that there is a lot of sacrifices to be made. Adrian tells her that she mustn't have an abortion. Sydney told Ruben that Adrian wants to have an abortion. He tells her that he doesn't respect that. He said if she was old enough to have sex without protection, that she should have the kid. Which is, I understand that. Because the person that I am completely against abortion. I don't agree with killing a baby, but I understand why it is an option. When you don't have the emotional support and when you don't have anything to lean on, you can't raise a kid. Why would I want to be pregnant for 9 months and then bring a kid into something that's traumatic or not emotionally right? It just doesn't make sense to do that. So I can understand why it isn't an option. But Adrian, girl, you don't want to be pregnant. The reason why Adrian was considering having an abortion was because she knew that Ben was going to run back to Amy, and she couldn't risk anyone finding out that she was going to get pregnant if he was going to run back to Amy. That's the only reason why she went back. That's the only reason why she even considered it, in my opinion. So when he told me that he doesn't respect that decision and that he's going to convince Adrian that having an abortion is wrong. So he tries to do that. She keeps telling him that it's her decision. He said that he doesn't agree with her having an abortion. He said he thinks it's wrong and it's not right. So when him and Sydney got into it the day before Adrian went to go have her abortion, he said that he thinks the best thing is for her to keep the kid. She said, are you really sure, and are you really comfortable with Adrian being a mother at 17? When she said, I'm thinking the same thing. So you limited this straight. I understand you don't want her to have an abortion, you don't want her to consider adoption, but are you really going to sit here and tell me that you're really happy about your daughter, 17 years old, a senior, about to graduate? You're happy about her being a mother at 17. You're going to sit here and tell me this, knowing that her life is going to change, that there might not be no college. She's going to have sleepless nights during her senior year. And you wait for her to have those sleepless nights. I don't understand that at all. I really feel like Ruben was not thinking about the bigger picture of the reality that was going to set him to this. He just didn't want Adrian to have an abortion because it wasn't what he wanted, which I completely understand. I don't think she wanted to have an abortion either, really. But it's like the fact that you're okay with your daughter being a mother at 17 without thinking about the reality of it, it's just dumb to me. Then he tries to tell Leo when Adrian and Ben were becoming friends, that he tells Leo that he wants Ben to propose to Adrian and he wants them to get married. I'm just thinking yo, what? Benny gives Ben this friendship ring that she got, and she said just give it to Adrian as a friendship ring. No proposal, no nothing, just a friendship. Ben does that. He asked Leo if that's a good idea. Leo told him no. But then when he told Ruben said he should give Adrian a ring, but he said he wants Ben to propose to her. Ben said that he don't think that's appropriate to get married, especially when they're not even feeling each other. That they're just going to co-parent as friends. So he decided to give Adrian a friendship ring. He gave it to her. The whole season, Leo and Ruben pretty much convinces Leo that Ben needs to marry Adrian for them to have the baby. And I was not a fan of that. I was not a fan of it, only for it to eventually for it to work, because Leo and Ruben just kept telling Adrian and Ben that they should get married, and it worked. So that's how it happened. So I wasn't really a big fan of Ruben of this season. I just felt like the writers made him step 10 steps back as a parent, because I feel like the Ruben from season 1 and 2 would have definitely spoke to Adrian with a lot more reality. But on to the characters. Let's talk about the characters. We're gonna start with Amy. Amy in this season. I actually liked Amy a lot in this season. Her storylines were her going to New York, which you really didn't see a lot of it, but you did hear what she thought about New York. She's like, her going to New York opened up her mind to more possibilities in life, and I love that for her. Her second storyline this season was definitely her and Ricky, which I am a huge fan of. I think it was the best decision the writers ever made when it came to relationship, and it made it all worth it by season 3 that her and Ricky finally got together, and I loved it. Her and Ben broke up in this season, which was like, thank God Almighty. I was so over her and Ben. I never understood the appeal to her and Ben, and I never will. And her other storyline this season is pretty much her and Adrian kind of trying to be friends, and pretty much Adrian trying to make it a competition between her and Amy, pretty much on her feeling like Amy made a mistake by walking away from Ben, because Ben could give her a condo and he could give her marriage, and her just trying to make it to a whole lot of competition when honestly she's really the goofiest. She's really goofy. Adrian is definitely a goofy ass bitch. Like, y'all shacking it up like it's supposed to be like I can understand y'all being excited about being parents. I mean, I don't know a teenager happy about being a parent at 17, but okay. But you and Ben acting like it's supposed to be a whole fucking dream come true when honestly being a parent, being a teenage parent is not fucking easy. But y'all acting like it's about to be just a nice ice cream sundae raising this kid. So I'll let y'all do y'all. Y'all live y'all life. Period. Pretty much. Y'all do that. And that whole storyline just led up to the storyline in season 3 with everything that happened in the hallway. That whole storyline, it went on for like, I think it went on for 2 episodes. I feel like it went on longer, but yeah, it was 2 episodes of the whole storyline on moving to apologize. Ben said some foul shit, and then Ricky broke it down to everyone in the hallway about what the real shit was. That storyline really pissed me off because I hated Ben and Adrian when it came to the storyline. I don't like the fact that people act like Amy needed to apologize. It was just ridiculous to me. And the whole storyline was that I'm going to discuss it with each character because each character had a different part to play when it comes to the storyline. So basically, Amy's part of this storyline is that Amy and Grace decided to throw Adrian a baby shower, even though they both know that she has no friends. Even though it was Grace's idea, Grace was the one who asked Amy to help her with the baby shower because Adrian threw her one. That's the only reason why Grace asked her to do it. So when her and Grace made the flyers, they said who should we invite. They tried to invite everyone they could to the shower, and no one wanted to come. Adrian said, have they invited anyone? And they said no. So Adrian decides to call all the girls that Ricky had slept with to invite to her shower, only to find out that none of those bitches wanted anything to do with her shower. Amy asked her, did you do that to show me all the girls that you slept with? She said no, this isn't about Amy. She said she wanted to show all those girls that she won. That even though that she slept with their boyfriends, that she's pregnant, and that she's getting married, and she's happier than ever. Goofy bitch alert. Just clownery. So Amy just tells Grace that I'm out. Grace tells Amy that she needs to apologize to Amy. She said apologize to her for what? She didn't even want half the girls that he slept with while we were together. She said that Amy and Grace need to apologize to her for throwing a baby shower when she has no friends. I can't believe that she tried to twist it out on them. Bitch, it ain't our fault you ain't got no friends. If you haven't slept with half the girls' boyfriends in the school, maybe your ass will have some friends. Don't try to blame us for why you were being a slut and being free and just letting it be all out there. And that ain't our problem. That's on you. It's your fault that you have no friends because you decided to sleep with half the girls' boyfriends in the school because you have no self-respect. Don't ever try to blame Amy or Grace for why you don't have any friends. How come we have bullshit? So that was Amy's portion. That was her part of the storyline. And then people act like she needs to apologize. The fact that she even told Ricky in the hallway that she slept with all the girls in the hallway. He said, you know, I slept with other girls. She said that he said you can't expect to apologize because you know who some of them are now. Amy, you know I was a hoe, that I was a fuckboy. And I'm sorry, but like you said, I'm not going to apologize for being who I was in the beginning before we started dating. I'm not. It sucks that you had to see that, but you knew that I got around. Like, you know this, you know this, you know this, you know this. Like, you know this. So, I didn't like the fact that you tried to tell me that you need to apologize. Apologize for what? You know that was a hoe? It's like, I'm not going to apologize for being who I was in the beginning when I knew that I was that person. I got nothing to lie for. I got nothing to hide. So, like, yeah, and then it was the whole conversation between her and Ben. I'm just gonna discuss what Amy said, and I'm going to get into Ben's part because I'm going to say that for Ben's part. But basically, Amy tried to let Ben know that Adrian is only going along with this relationship and this marriage and all this bippity boppity boop because deep down Adrian is still in love with Ricky. She is. All this was just to prove to Ricky that he missed out on a good thing when in reality, he didn't miss out on shit. Adrian, you didn't offer shit back then, you offer nothing now. So what the fuck did Ricky miss out on? That was the point of the storyline. She just wanted to show Ricky that he missed out on something good. And it's like, okay. That was the only reason why Adrian went along with this whole charade. Because she told Ricky straight to his face when Ruben told Adrian that he wants been proposed to her, she told Ricky that she knows that deep down that he can love a girl and that he can be good to them. She just always hoped that that person that he would be good to and love would be her. So it just shows that Adrian is just she's still a pick-me. She still hasn't learned, and that she isn't ever going to be over Ricky because in her mind, they're soulmates, and she's delusional. So Ben got a little rowdy, he got a little greasy, he even slut-shamed Amy, and man, it's just so much shit that Ben said that it was dumb. So those are pretty much Amy's storyline. I loved Amy in this season. I feel like she's grown so much in this season. Like, and her storylines were way better than her storyline in season 2. Her storylines in season 2 were very weak. The next person, Ricky. I love Ricky in this season. I have always loved Ricky in any of the seasons. Ricky, his storylines in this season were him knowing that Adrian was pregnant, and him basically knowing that Ben and Adrian were both keeping him basically knowing that Adrian was pregnant and that Ben was the father, and him having to keep the secret from Amy, and even though it was killing him. So he had that storyline on him trying to keep the secret from Amy. His second storyline was him and Ashley, of course. That went on forever, but I loved it. And his other storyline was Amy, with them finally getting together and them learning how to be monogamous together. He also had a storyline with his mother coming back into his life and them building a relationship, which I also really love. I love that for Ricky. And the whole hallway storyline. And really, Ricky didn't have much to do with it until his part in the hallway when he kind of went off for everyone. But the whole time in the storyline, he was letting them know that he's not getting in the middle of it, and that if whoever need to apologize. He did tell Adrian that he felt that what she did in the hallway was out of line, and that she needs to apologize to Amy for doing that malicious shit, and that he told Ben that Adrian would think that Adrian should be a little bit more nicer and be less of pretty much a bitch because she's pregnant. That she would think to be more nicer and try to be more appreciative of the friends that she do have than the ones that she don't. But no, she doesn't do that. What she decided to do is be mad at Grace and Amy for not having any friends. Like, the fuck out of here, bro. It ain't nobody's fault but yours. So that's what Ricky did. And then when they all got all into it in the hallway again, when Amy and Adrian got into it. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I'm going to mention Amy's part in that argument that her and Adrian had as I talk about this. Ricky pretty much told them that what he did to those girls was fucked up, and because the reason why he did it was because he was a traumatized kid. Him having sex with those girls was just him trying to prove his masculinity, because he was demasculized when he was a kid because of what his dad did to him. And what he did to those girls was wrong. So Amy seeing those girls as competition, that pissed him off, and I totally understand why, because Amy, you're acting like I was just this great guy and all the girls wanted me because I was this great guy. No, I was a horrible guy, and all the girls wanted me because I had a reputation. That's why a lot of them stuck with me, because I had a reputation. I used them. I made them feel like they were nothing more but just a one-night stand, and no one deserves to feel that way. Even if they did consent, even if those girls did consent to it, no one deserves to feel like that. So Amy seeing those girls' competition just showed that she was being a little bit way too much insecure. That she let what Adrian did get to her, and she shouldn't have done that. And Adrian doing that embarrassed Ricky, because Adrian, if you're trying to change, and if you see that I'm trying to change, there was no reason to be that malicious unless you were still deep down mad about how things ended between us when both of us were not sane. Adrian, you cheated, I cheated, we were both equally toxic. Stop trying to act like you were just this innocent little girl in the whole relationship, because you weren't. And just shut up. You weren't, bro. You weren't. So, yeah, I definitely understand where it was coming from. I definitely understand where it's coming from. It was embarrassing that all of them acted like that. It was embarrassing that no one could apologize for what they did. In my opinion, I don't think Amy owes anyone an apology, because she didn't do anything wrong. If anyone owes anyone an apology, it's definitely Ben, and it's definitely Adrian, because the way they reacted to everything was just so malicious and just so revengeful for no reason, bro. So that's how Ricky's side of the conversation went. Mature, quick and easy, and just period. Letting them know that having meaningless sex and all that stuff is not good for any traumatized person, and it's not. When you watch shows and you see people use sex, people who have been traumatized, when they use sex as an outlet, you see how that makes them feel worse than makes them feel better. So Ricky is definitely right. So yeah, my Ricky, he was right all along. Now Amy and Adrian's argument of the portion was basically Amy letting Adrian know that she had a kid, and that even though you love the kid, it sucks. Being a mother sometimes sucks, especially when you're that young, because you're gonna have incomplete. You're going to be late to class. You might have to go to summer school, like she did. You're going to have to make so many sacrifices. And if you're, like, are you ready for that, Adrian? Are you ready for that? And that's what she tried to tell Adrian. Adrian telling her that, you don't think I know what it's like to live with someone who's been a teenage mother? Her mom was a teenage mother. She know what it was like to miss her mom to make sacrifices. And she talked about it, she has just always been insecure by other girls because they had things that she wanted. So we all know that Adrian was insecure and just using that as she's insecure and self-conceited at the same time, because deep down she's insecure, but at the same time she thinks so highly of herself that is ridiculous. She needs therapy. So I can say Adrian needs deep-rooted therapy, to me, very much so. So yeah, I definitely love Ricky's storylines in this season. I have no complaints. On to the two characters who frustrate me to no goddamn end. I'm trying to think which one irritates me. Honestly, let's talk about Ben and Adrian together, because really their storylines really link together more than people want to admit. So we're gonna talk about them together. Ben and Adrian. Well, first I want to talk about this. Ben really did not have anything going on this season outside of this storyline. He really didn't have much else going on outside of him trying to apologize to Amy and trying to make things right, only for her to say that she don't think they should be a couple. So they let that lie. Ben decides to give Adrian a friendship ring, only for Leo and Ruben to force Ben into marrying Adrian. Way before him and Adrian, they kiss and they become a couple, but then they decide, Leo and Ruben decide to encourage him into marrying Adrian, and him and Adrian get married. I'll tell you this right now, I did not like him and Adrian as a couple. That was forced, and it only literally happened because Adrian was pregnant. If the tables were turned, I don't think her and Ben would have been a couple, because you saw in season 4 them together without her being pregnant and things like that. Her and Ben don't work, like, at all. So yeah, Ben was pretty much forced into marrying Adrian and things like that, and he even told Amy that that he's scared about being a father, that he's scared about being a husband, and that he feels like all this is just one big mistake. He told Amy that. And then when Amy asked him if he's okay, he said he just had a little bit of cold feet a little bit. But he said he loves his baby and he loves Adrian and he wants to be a father and he wants to be married. Say it again. He wants to be married and he wants to be a father at 17. Yeah. Ben is the opposite of mature. Ben is immature. He thinks the best way to handle things is by marriage and by moving in, and it's just like, wow, this is just ridiculous. And it's just crazy to me. Why the fuck would Leo buy Ben and Adrian a fucking condo when it's like they haven't even considered daycare? The reason why Ben and Adrian weren't thinking about what they were going to do when the baby came was because they were being spoiled. Someone offered them a condo. Shit, if Amy and Ricky were offered a condo, I'm pretty sure they would have been living it up. They got a condo. They got people who were just okay with their terrible decisions and things like that. They were pretty much spoiled when it came to their pregnancy and them being parents that young. No one ever questioned their terrible decisions, and their parents just didn't think it was all okay, and it wasn't. It wasn't, bro. We all know that Adrian was pregnant. We all know that Adrian lied to Ben twice when she said that she wasn't pregnant. We all know that she lied. Until she told Ben that she was going to get an abortion, only for her to tell him that she wasn't going to consider abortion and that she thinks they can do this. So they do. She ends up telling Ricky that when Ricky finds out that when him and Ben were talking, Ben gave her a ring and he said he don't think that them getting married is going to solve their problem. And then Ben tells Ricky that he don't think he understands how much he hurt Adrian. And I'm like, what we're not going to do is try to rewrite history. Adrian lost Ricky how she got him. Ricky was nothing more than a fuck boy, and she's nothing more than a fuck girl. Adrian opened up her legs for anyone who was willing to have sex. Get the fuck out of here. This comes from the same girl who hooked up with two guys that her friend Grace, her best friend Grace, liked. Get the fuck out of here. This comes from the same girl who hooked up with Ben's best friend, not caring about being used because Henry wanted to hurt Ben just as much Ben hurt him. Adrian didn't care. Adrian was doing the same shit that she's been doing from season 1 all the way to the last season. She didn't grow at all as a character. Don't give me that bullshit. Adrian ran out on Ricky, cheated on him as much as he cheated on her. Her and Ricky did not love each other. And like I said before, when her and Ricky tried to have an emotional relationship, it didn't work. They have nothing in common. They don't have any emotional chemistry. They don't work. Period. Adrian was nothing more but a pick-me when it came to Ricky. Deep down, she is still that insecure little girl who wants to be so desperately loved by him because she thinks in her delusional mind that they're soulmates. Bro, Adrian is delusional and she always will be. So Ben, that whole, you don't know how much I've hurt her, take that shit turn that shit sideways and stick that shit up your motherfucking ass for all I give a damn. Because that is nothing but more of a bullshit that you're saying to me. I ain't gonna fuck about nothing you're saying. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care about none of that shit that you're talking about. On to his conversation with Amy. Pretty much the root of it was he caught Amy stupid for getting pregnant young. He called her a slut, pretty much. He slut-shamed her for giving it away. And then he said that the only reason why she's with Ricky is because she wants to justify getting pregnant by him because she don't want to see John as a mistake. I really couldn't believe the shit that I was hearing because I really feel like Ben deserved a full range slap for the things that he said to Amy. I think the things that he said were completely out of line and not right. The fact that he's calling Amy stupid, I think that's not fair. I feel like her parents failed her by not telling her about unprotected sex, and I'm going to keep saying that. I don't give a fuck what no one says. Amy's parents failed her by not letting her know what unprotected sex can lead to. And Ben, you're the same guy who tried to marry this girl because you felt sorry for her. You're not a good guy. You never were a good guy. Everything that you did for Amy was out of pity. It was never out of consideration or caring or things like that. It was never out of any of that. And him trying to use that line like she's trying to justify being with Ricky so she don't see John as a mistake. Bro, if her and Ricky wanted to be together, they could have been together in the first season. If being with Ricky was that easy, I'm pretty sure her and Ricky would have been a couple in the first season. So, like, don't be saying shit when you don't have no weight to it. And then he tried to go off on Alice because Alice didn't want to go to Adrian's baby shower. I can believe he tried to sit there and dog out his friend over a bitch. Like, when Ben dates, he really loses himself. Like, he's that person who forget his friends because of a girl, and I don't like that. I don't expect anyone who becomes so wrapped up in who they date that they say fuck you to everyone else. That shit pisses me off. It's not coming from, oh, you're trying to be clingy with your friend, or you're trying to take away all their time. No. I thought you had other people. Aren't there other people in your life that you care about outside of your significant other? Like, the fact that Ben tried to sit there and pretty much tell Alice that if she can accept the fact that he's having a baby and that he's getting married, that they can't be friends. I can believe that. Like, he just really tried to make her feel bad because she didn't want nothing to do with him and Adrian being married or having a kid. It's like, if I'm your friend and you can't respect my opinion on me saying that you're too young for all this, then you're right. Maybe you should be friends. But the fact that he told Henry that he can go too because he knows that he knows that Henry's gonna take her side anyway. It's like, you know what, Ben? Fuck you. And honestly, Henry and Alice were really good friends because they all try to talk Ben out of his delusion, and he went along with his delusions anyway. When they told Ben to not, when they tried to talk Ben out of being with Amy, he didn't listen. He never listens when someone tells him what to do. He never ever listens. This entire season, I feel like him and Adrian, they really just pissed me off. Adrian trying to be in competition with Amy on like, move in with Ricky and you can have what I have and things like that. Like, Adrian said that Ricky and Amy made it into a competition between her and Ben when they had sex and had a kid. So she evened the score because she's with Ben. Ben treats her right, and now she's gonna have a kid, and her and Ben are getting married. So her and Ben think that it's equally even because now they have everything that Amy and Ricky have. Just pathetic. These are two pathetic people who couldn't get out of their way over something that had nothing to do with them, even though they didn't even know who Amy and Ricky were. It's just ridiculous. What two insecure people would do something like that? You have to be really insecure to carry on something like that. I didn't even know who the fuck you were, but I didn't know who you were or what you do, and you're gonna really hold something over my head because you're insecure. Ridiculous. I think Ben and Adrian are the most insecure people in this show, and it shows every fucking time. trying to see if I'm getting anything before I get into the biggest thing that happened at the end of this season. I think that's everything. I think that is everything. You know, Agent would, you know, kind of rub things in Amy's face, like telling her that she don't know how she let Ben get away. He's a great one. He's a great guy. She told Ricky that what she really liked about Ben is that Ben would never run out on her, and that she never got to worry about Ben cheating, which I disagree with, because Ben's the type of guy that once he sees something that's shiny and new, he'll go after it. I mean, think about it. He did it with Amy. He did it with Grace. He did it with Adrian. And then he got with a girl named Dylan, and then he wanted Amy all over again. No. When Ben sees something, when he sees something shiny and new, he's gonna go after it. Hell, even Alice, his own fucking best friend, was even off limits, and she was dating his best friend. Like, get the fuck out of here. Ben has the definition of no morals either. So the biggest thing that happened in this season was Ben and Adrian losing their baby Mercy. It was a very sad episode. It was very sad because I didn't expect that to happen. But whenever I talk about this moment with my sister, she always says that they didn't deserve it, but she said that she kind of looked at it as like, how do you expect a good thing to happen when it came from a bad thing? And I can definitely understand that. The way that Adrian and Ben got together was out of being malicious and trying to get payback and revenge on something that didn't even happen. I don't think they deserve to lose their daughter because of it, but I think it was definitely what my sister was talking about, like a sign from God showing that nothing good can come from something bad that they did. It was a very sad episode. I felt so bad for Adrian and Ben when they lost their baby. You know, the scene where Amy came in there and she even like hugged Adrian and was laying in her bed with her crying. Like, she was there for Adrian, and for Adrian to see nothing more as Amy but a target and something that she had to take down is just ridiculous to me. No matter how many times that her and Amy try to become friends, they will never be friends because Adrian is insecure about something that she's insecure about Ricky having a baby with a girl that she didn't even know existed until her. I think Adrian was, I don't know, with her Ricky, because in the show, they were her, I'm thinking like, so how long was her Ricky's junior year? 2 seasons? You don't spend 2 years in school being a junior. That is ridiculous. I don't know why TV shows do that. I think they do that because they just want to make sure they keep the high school seasons going, which is like, okay, that's fine. But I just think Adrian and Ben were really insecure. They didn't deserve to lose their baby. I definitely thought the last episode was very sad, but I loved how in the midst of that, Amy and Ricky had their first time together, which was very beautiful. But it sucked that Ben and Adrian lost their baby. I don't think they deserve that to happen to them, but me personally, I just don't think they deserve to have a kid when this whole season all they've been doing is just being malicious. Just being very malicious to everyone. You think that the world owes them something because they were having a baby. Just like, yo, what the fuck I think y'all are? It was just crazy to me. And I definitely think her losing her baby was a big reason why season 4 was just kind of like slow. Like, I definitely feel like season 4 was very slow, and you could tell it was a season that they had a lot of they were struggling to find decent storylines with. But outside of that, that has been my rant on this season. I love season 3. I think season 3 is the best season to me. And like I said, when it came to the hallway things, if I didn't mention Adrian telling Amy that she knows what it's like to have a mother, to have a teenage parent. Her mother had to make a lot of sacrifices. She was out on her side by herself a lot and things like that, and that she was always insecure her whole life about what other girls had because she didn't have it, and that she's confident, but she's also very insecure and she knows it. So you got Ben telling everyone that it wasn't malicious, and it's just like, please, it was very malicious. And her telling Ricky on the phone that if she's pregnant, people should be a little bit more nicer and be more considerate. But Ricky said, if you're pregnant, you should be more considerate of people too as well, and I agree. If you're pregnant, you should definitely be more considerate of people. Like, what the fuck? You want people to be more considerate of your feelings, but yet you're not considerate of anyone else's feelings? Bitch, who the fuck you think you are? Queen Elizabeth? Adrian, you better go with all that. So, to me, I think her and Ben were the villains in this season. Ben, Adrian, and Ashley were the antagonists in this season, and no one could prove me wrong. Outside of that, I give simply an A+, and B, this will be the last rant that I'll be doing until further notice. Just be patient. I won't probably be moving, might take a long time to get settled in and things like that, but just stay patient with me, and I love you guys, and enjoy the review when you listen to it, and good night.